As we look onwards to 2024, we try and think of everything that was 2023 and everything that could have been. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the goddamn one of the most frustrating dramas I've ever been a part of through this game. And if I'm spending 15 hours on it, you're at least spending 15 minutes with me dissecting all of this bullshit. So, there was a trade between three people. There was a guy named Ray Ray, there's a guy named Hoang, and there's a guy named Nguyen. Sometimes I'll refer to Nguyen as Abu or something like that. I'm probably just going to say Nguyen. There was a trade for $155 for three accounts. Account number one right here, account number two, and then account number three. Ray gives Nguyen $155, right? Hoang is the middleman. Nguyen is the seller of these accounts, right? Before I say anything more, I do want to bring up context that I'm coming into this story with. That way I catch you up to speed on how I was on day one. By the way, this was a whole 4-day excursion. And that's all it was 4 days worth of turmoil. So we have a channel in the Discord. I bet, I assume this is more so like the court channel. And this is where the start of it all happens. Keep in mind, this is a start, right? So this started on the 27th, and then this ended literally yesterday, so 30th. So this would be the 4th day that this goes on. If you scroll up just a little bit above, Hoang was in the same drama, or a very similar situation to someone else. That's my Cash App, by the way, if you want to send me anything. The whole deal was a player would sell a very, very powerful account for $60. Hoang said he would pay $30 in the beginning and then $30 later. Hoang never paid the rest of the $30, and instead he actually sold the account to someone else in the midst of it. The reason why Hoang came out on top, in my opinion, in that one was the original seller asked for a different account in lieu of the $30. Because of this, he ended up being the loser here, and it's because of his rash decisions. Oh, there it is right here. Because of his rash decisions, he kind of lost a lot here. This was almost 5 months ago. This was when I first started talking with Hoang. I could be hazy on the thing, but I didn't know how. I didn't know this was a common occurrence. So I kind of just chalked it up to, it was just a bad business deal. But essentially, this dude sent him $8 for an account, and he thought, I don't know, he bought dinner already, and then he sold it to someone else. He supposedly sold earlier in the day, and this dude actually like has his shit down. He didn't fucking negotiate with anything. He said literally send my money back. And that was the first time I heard of anything like this. And that this is the context that I'm coming in with Huang Bao. Here's a screenshot of the trade. I finally found one after like combing through for 5 minutes. So this is one of the trades where they're all three. So Nguyen, Ray, Hoang are in a group chat, right? So this is where they decide 155 for his accounts, and it should be plural. So he gave them his PayPal, and Ray took, I don't know, his friend to the store. His friend sent the money to Nguyen's PayPal. The reason why it's hazy is because he lives in a country where there isn't PayPal. PayPal is restricted. So he has to take this long boat to China or something like that to get this money to be sent out. So I believe he has to go to a store to send money through PayPal, or PayPal is a service there or something like that, or there is some sort of service with PayPal to send to other PayPals. Because as evidenced here, he says there's a lot of customers behind him, so, it's better for Hoang to, to receive the accounts. That way they wait on the trade. All right. So Nguyen sends the money. I apologize. Nguyen sends the accounts to Hoang. Hoang checks everything, and then everything goes great. So at this point, the money hasn't cleared yet because they're using an alternate service. So he doesn't have any receipts at this point, right? So at this point, Hoang is holding the accounts for this trade. And look, 2 accounts left, 2 accounts done, 1 left, right? So at this point, Nguyen is asking Ray to send him the bill. Bill in their, it's a language barrier. Bill means receipt, right? So he's asking for a receipt for that, for the payment that Ray is supposedly sending. So right now at this bottom left here, you see that he's waiting for a screenshot for the person that's going to be sending it, because again, PayPal restrictions, he has to go through another person who has to go through another store to send this money. At least that's how I look at it. So at this point, these guys have been waiting. The timeline is so wonky. These guys have been waiting about, it's either anywhere from between 3 hours to 1 day. Nothing, the one thing that you're going to see about this trade is that everything devolves and nothing makes sense after a while. And hopefully I can simulate that entire experience to you. So at this point, they're both saying he's a scammer, right? And then Hoang saying, oh man, I'm worrying that you're getting scammed. He's the middleman, by the way. So if anything goes wrong in the trade, Hoang can just be like, okay, let me just send you the account information back. And he said, better go to the store and talk to him. Ray is saying he can't scam. He's reassuring the people in this chat that this isn't going to go down badly. So I tried translating this with Google Translate as best as I could. Hoang and Nguyen, so Hoang the middleman and Nguyen the seller, they both go into a chat by themselves, and then they talk about this guy Ray might be a scammer. Look, even Hoang saying it could. I'm gonna say it could be because translation, language barrier. But in this screenshot, they are clearly discussing that the possibility that Ray could be a scammer here because he hasn't sent anything regarding a transaction receipt. So in this moment, a lot of shit's happening. A lot of mental gymnastics are happening where they're thinking that Ray's a scammer. And I can see their perspective because, it's been hours since the trade happened, right? So this supposedly happened in this time. I believe there still was the group chat, the DM between Hoang and Nguyen, right? So somebody's asking him, oh, you're not going to buy it, right? And Ray, because the PayPal bullshit isn't working, he's literally reassuring them, or it is working, it's just waiting on all of the bells and whistles to go through. He's reassuring them that it's being sent today no matter what, right? So even at this point, Ray's having doubts. And if he failed, then obviously the trade isn't going to go through. If I knew this wasn't going to happen, I wouldn't waste your time. I transferred money through that store before, and that's why he was so confident about it. So here is probably the biggest point of contention. Look at this. So this is translated not too terribly. I'll try and dissect it. Keep in mind, I don't know Vietnamese that well either. So I punched it through Google Translate again and screenshot it and put it back in. So here, this is their DMs between Hoang and Nguyen. They're chalking Ray up to be a scammer, right? And either Hoang has taken an interest in this account or Nguyen really wants this being sold. As evidenced here, if the money doesn't come, we're going to cancel the trade and then Hoang can buy it. This is a very, very important part about canceling the trade. 3.9 million, which Hoang sent $150 to Nguyen, and that's 3 mil 9, so that's 3 million Vietnamese dollars and 900k Vietnamese dollars. And nice. And then this is how that goes. Hoang and Nguyen do a trade behind Ray's back. This isn't with Ray knowing, by the way. That's what makes that's what makes this such a big point. They're doing this trade behind his back. If for more context, because I know Hoang will definitely want me to say this, Abu or Nguyen Nguyen is trying to pay for his school, and he's begging Hoang at this point to pay for his accounts. That way he can pay for school. All right. So now they're saying, three accounts for price. 3 mil, 3 account, right? If you hug, shut up and don't tell anyone. This is where a lot of the translations get hazy. It gets worse and worse. But from this transaction, from this talk, it shows that, they're doing a trade behind Ray's back again. So at the end of day 1, I wrote a little synopsis of what happened. After the screenshot that we saw last, Ray finally posted the screenshot that the money went through. The thing is, the problem is, Hoang and Abu, so Nguyen, did the trade behind Ray's back. So now let's recap here, or summarize. Nguyen has almost $300, right? Hoang has 3 accounts. Ray has nothing. He has not a single thing. You may be asking, how come, they didn't send the money back? As I said before, Ray is in a country with PayPal restrictions, so he's not able to receive the money back. If Nguyen sent the money back, nothing would have happened. It would have went to Ghostland or something. It would have went to somebody that had no business receiving the money. So it would have never came back to Ray. This is what really messes me up, because obviously, you want to have the receipts on the trade that happened. And this is what really, really grinds my gears. Upon looking at this, just because we're around late December, we're around late this month, so I was thinking this trade was happening in the span of 2 to 3 days behind us. So I was thinking this trade was happening on December 27th, December 28th, December 29th. No. This trade happened an entire month ago. This is all that was covered on day 2. By the way, everything that I said before this was all uncovered day 1. This is the start of day 2, and we go out swinging. So day 2, we uncover that this trade happened an entire month ago. And at this point, it looks as if Nguyen is fully in the wrong here. And to me, after day 1, after day 2, I also believe that. But if we look at the trade itself, I don't think Nguyen is in the wrong here. And you're going to see a lot of the good side coming out of Nguyen in this trade. The whole fucking trade is fucked up. There is no denying that at all. But it's how you take this situation and try and make it better. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time at this point. I hope you're still at this point. And, maybe we can crush this together. Maybe you can give me your perspective and, we can mingle perspectives. Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep this on there and kind of talk to it. So at this point, when Hoang and Nguyen finally realized that they made a mistake, Nguyen, one of these guys, asked for compensation for it, obviously, because he can't get the money, but he'd rather have accounts, because he can't come into the situation and leave empty-handed, because he brought the money. Nguyen or Hoang offered to give a Namekian, which Nguyen said was worth $155. You know what? How about I just scroll through this chat? It's gonna devolve And actually, no, yeah, it's gonna devolve. I don't want to do that. So at this point, Nguyen says, I have an account that costs $155. And he sends the pictures, right? He sends the pictures in here. What happens is this is one of the most, fucked up points. Oh, where is it? Okay. The Namek account with gears is worth $200, and the account itself is $155. So he is 1000% in the wrong for trying to pawn this Namekian off as $155 worth. He gives the choice to Ray if Ray still wants to proceed with this deal as compensation, and eventually Ray agrees. Also, what happens is Ray trades that Namek for one of the 3 accounts that was shown before. Ray asks for just this account to Hoang, and Hoang agrees. This is also a big point, so keep that in mind. Hoang is still negotiating with Nguyen on trying to give Ray the best price. So he's saying that you can give the Namekian, but at least put some sets on it. Nguyen says, he's not going to give sets or anything like that. And that is the end of that. Ray is stuck with a really, really shitty account. So that's the end of day 1. Day 2, we discussed who is truly in the wrong here. And I think we all came to the conclusion. I know I came to the conclusion that both Nguyen and Hoang are in the wrong here. These people both did a trade behind the actual buyer's back. They tried to pawn off something super, super dumb, not worth it at all. And it fucking sucked. The only thing that it sucks for is Ray. He lost a good amount of shit. And there's just really nothing to say about that. Where everything gets tricky is how this trade even happened. In an actual middleman trade, what was supposed to happen was Nguyen sends Hoang the account, and then Ray sends Hoang the money. Hoang told Ray to send the money to Nguyen. And that's what fucked everything over. Had that not happened, Ray would have sent the money to Hoang, and then Hoang would have verified everything and then forwarded the money to Nguyen. But because Hoang fucked up here, he fucked up as middleman, I don't think Nguyen is a scammer. I don't think Hoang is a scammer. And obviously Ray isn't the scammer. I think 2 parties in here are wrong. I think Hoang is wrong, and I think Nguyen is wrong for dealing behind Ray's back. I think Hoang is more in the wrong because he is supposed to be the middleman here, and he took shortcuts as he did in previous trades to cut corners. That's why I think Hoang is in the wrong. This is when I come up with a solution for everything. So actually, I don't even know if I mean, you can just read this yourself. I'm not going to go over this. All right. So my whole thing is on why they're in the wrong is they both acted unreasonably by trading the same 3 accounts without telling Ray. They did the same goddamn trade. The Hoang did not fulfill his job as middleman, and that's what fucked everything up. My whole issue is that Hoang did not middleman this trade properly. Ray should have sent the money to Hoang, and Hoang should have received the accounts from Nguyen, and then he was supposed to trade it in the opposite order that things came in. But because he didn't do that, that's where they wanted me to step in, and this is what I've done. I put in, like, this is what I think should happen. I put Hoang should probably, keep in mind they didn't have to use this solution. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't have to use a solution. I said that multiple times. I don't know why I didn't say it here. But I believe Hoang should give Ray an item that is worth around the 35 to 50 mark. Same with Abu. The whole reasoning behind this is Ray lost out on this trade big time. He went from having $155 in his pocket to receiving a value of what, $40 to $60. My whole reasoning is the people that were in the wrong here should be sending him almost $40 to $50 worth of items. That way, if both of them give $40, then he would only be at a loss of $40 of value and not the $100 of value that he came in with, which sucks, by the way. When you trade, obviously, the one thing, I know it's super late into the video. If you're watching, you're a fucking trooper. I don't recommend trade account. I don't recommend any type of account trading of any kind, because it leads to bullshit like this. Sooner or later, this shit will happen to you. And it's happened to a lot of fucking people before this. I'll say this, I'll put this in the description. Abu is not a scammer, so Nguyen isn't a scammer. Hoang isn't a scammer. Ray is not a scammer. None of these people are scammers, but I'll say this. Hoang definitely shady as hell. This has happened in the past. This happened, this situation. It's going to happen in the future. Abu, I do think that he was in the wrong for trying to sell an account while waiting for another trade to happen. So I'd say he's in the wrong. I'd say every single person here is shady. The only person that was truly in the wrong, the only person that was wronged here, the only person that had no fault is Ray. He literally came in with $155 and he left with 50. So this is where it leaves us. Hoang didn't like my solution. Again, I said if he doesn't like the solution, he can just make his own or something like that, something of that nature. As long as they agree on it, I'm fine with it. I don't give a fuck. Right. Abu said, okay, he'll give something worth $40 of value. Then we curated it, made sure it was worth $40. So Ray has about $100 worth of value right now, which I think, that's cool right now. So essentially we're going from a terrible trade deal to pretty much a bad business deal. And that's where that leaves us. So Hoang, for the past 2 days, hasn't agreed with this or hasn't agreed with any sort of solution. And I'm not comfortable having people like that in, this server, obviously. So I did kick him. I'd, put on my big boy pants and, kick him from the server. I don't know if that does anything, I will be adding him to the list only because this is a situation that's happened multiple times, and I don't see this behavior changing anytime soon. And I do feel it's best for other people to know that his behavior when a trade goes south is full-on damage control, and it's not okay. But yeah, if I spent 23 minutes of your time, you have a great rest of your day. And Lord, like, Lord, subscribe, Lord, peace.